This episode of the Beauty Industry podcast was brought to you by Beauty Academy, the industry-recognised learning platform that makes it easier and more achievable to access unlimited industry mentoring and business education. Watch anywhere, cancel anytime. Claim your free 14-day trial at beautyacademy.com. Hello and welcome to the Beauty Industry podcast, your online support community for the professional beauty industry. I am your host, founding director of Beauty Industry, Tamara Reid. Here we are closing the competitive gap and speaking your language. This is a platform created and dedicated to the professional beauty industry, valuing community over competition. We serve to help connect you with inspiration from industry experts, expand your knowledge through educational pieces, and bring you the latest in product and technology innovation. This is Beauty Industry. Today I have two guests with me on the podcast, Belinda and Felecia, the dynamic duo that is LongLashes. Belinda and Felecia are two Sydney mums who created LongLashes, the safe alternative to eyelash growth serums, and turned it into a lucrative business that saw them make six figures within their first 6 months and $1 million projections in their second year, which now host distributors across the world. After successfully cementing a loyal following of raving fans here in Australia, they have set their sights to China, a country renowned as a highly competitive market. With 5 kids in tow after just 4 months, several obstacles and countless sleepless nights, their persistence has paid off with an astonishing increase in sales and forecasted projections. Today, the three of us explore the complexities of startup business, expanding beyond the Australian market, and how to navigate culturally and linguistically through the process an incredible increase in growth their business has experienced internationally. Aside from this, the women can give incredible insight into the research and product development side of a product, also what it's like to take on an industry and competitors that knowingly sell toxic products to their consumers. Here's Belinda, Felecia, and I for Beauty Industry. So welcome to the Beauty Industry podcast, Felecia and Belinda. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Thank you. So I've got both of you on the line here. So Felecia, do you want to just say a little hello so people recognize your voice? And then Belinda, you can say a little hello so people recognize yours.
Sure thing. This is Felecia. Hi, and thanks for everyone for listening.
And hi, this is Belinda. So we have very distinctive voices. You'll easily be able to tell us apart, I'm sure. I talk too fast.
Perfect. So I understand for both of you before LongLashes, you were mums. How did you develop the idea, the concept, press go, press start, and develop LongLashes?
Sure. This is Felecia. I'll answer this one. Well, Belinda and I have been friends for quite some time. We met through our last businesses, which were baby businesses in the baby industry. And we often threw around a few ideas about businesses that we could do and never came up with the right option. And then one day we were both walking around. We used to walk every week, do like a walk around Narrabeen Lakes together. And we were talking about eyelashes, and I took my sunglasses off and she just burst out laughing, like, what's happened to you? I'd lost all my eyelashes. And I had been having eyelash extensions and they had come off, and with that was probably 80% of my eyelashes. Anyway, so she said, I thought she had fake eyelashes, but she didn't. And she was telling me about another product that she was using to grow her eyelashes. And I was like, right, I need to get onto that. So I started using that, and I was getting really bad allergic reactions to it. I was getting glassy eyes, red eyes, and we did discuss, why don't we create our own one that's safer, because Belinda had the same side effects, but she was tougher than me.
I pushed through it.
And I couldn't. I just was like, I can't do this anymore. So we were going to make the product in China, I will admit. we did go 6 months down that route, getting it manufactured in China, testing, and then we only to find out that one of the ingredients, which was apparently in our product, which was made in China, was not in the product. It wasn't actually provided to China. I researched this. And it just suddenly dawned on us, we can't manufacture this product in China. Nobody knows what is on their eyes. We can't trust it. And it was then that I started ringing around a bunch of places in Australia, and we decided to go Australian made. We got quotes, we got a feel for who we trusted, who we liked. And funnily enough, we ended up choosing a manufacturing company that is in between Belinda's house and my house. So it's basically a 5-minute drive for each of us, and the factory is in between us. So you couldn't ask for anything better.
It was one of those meant to be moments.
Yeah.
Amazing. And I love how you guys said there that it wasn't your first idea. Like me too, before beauty industry, I had millions of ideas, and I wanted to do product, and I wanted to do, you know, my own clinic, and I wanted to do all of these things. And now people, you know, they look at the success of you guys and they're like, oh, it's so easy. It's
so easy.
and you're like, no, this might have been the 45th idea, and now we're successful.
Yeah. People
look,
do think it's easy. And to be honest, we've made it look easy, but it's taken us, it's definitely coming up to 3 years since the beginning, concept, idea, trials, failures, you name it, lots of money thrown down the drain in mistakes. We've learnt a lot. We've made a lot of mistakes, but we've learnt from them, and we never have made that same mistake twice. So it's not easy. It's not easy, especially juggling 5 children between the two of us, and both of our husbands are CEOs. They run their own businesses. But it's so rewarding, and we absolutely love it.
Amazing. And so you were having lash extension treatments at a beauty salon, but it wasn't sticking. I mean, I know zero about lashes here, so I'm so naive. I should know more being in the industry, but what was happening?
They were sticking. I got sick and tired of having to lay down for an hour every 3 weeks with my eyes closed when I had a million things that I could be doing to get the extensions. Plus they were, I can't even remember, but I think they were like over $100 every 3 weeks to get filled. And then you can't get them wet, because the more you get them wet, they fall out. You can't cleanse your eyelashes properly because you're not meant to get them wet. So there was just a whole lot of drama that wasn't needed with the fake eyelashes.
I think what it was when Felecia actually got them taken off. It was such a massive difference. So she had these big fake long eyelashes, which look great. Then she took them off, which obviously you have your own lash shed. When you take your lashes off, some of your own lashes come off. So she went from having these gorgeous lashes to less than her own natural lashes. And we both also have a thyroid condition, which makes our hair very fine and sparse. So she went from, if you can imagine, you know, these big lashes to next to nothing. So it wasn't so much that the lash extension place wasn't good or it had caused it, not at all. It was just the vast difference between the before and after, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and it's almost like when you wear makeup and then you don't wear makeup and people go, are you sick? And you're like, no, thank you.
or when you tan and you don't tan. If I have a tan on, everyone goes, oh, you look so good. And then when you don't have a tan on, they're like, are you tired?
Yes.
So, yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. So, yeah, it wasn't that, you know, lash extensions are great. If you've got the time, if you've got, you know, the money, and, you know, if you like that look. And, you know, we sell a lot to lash extension places because, you know, our product will help. It basically helps keep the eyelashes in, and it'll also help grow the bottom lashes. So lash extensions are put on the top, and our product will help grow all of your lashes. So, you know, we sell a lot. We sell to one chain in particular that just does lash extensions. So there's nothing against lash extensions, but that was just our story of sort of how we started. But, yeah, she was like, yeah, definitely before and after makeup, it was a bit like that. And I didn't often see without sunglasses on. So,
and so I'm wondering then, you said 5 kids between you, which is just amazing regardless. How do you do mum life and business life and still remain sane?
You just work all the time.
There's never a moment off. So, it's not like it's any different for us than anybody else. Everybody is busy these days. At the moment, I'm getting up at 6 and I'm going to bed at midnight at the moment, just trying to it's school holidays, for instance, so get the children shuffled around from place to place, get my work in, cook the meals because my husband is away 12 hours a day. So, yes, it's being organised, really, and having emails on my phone. I do them 24/7.
But I also think, and I think anyone that runs their own business will agree, is, it's flexible because you've got children. You don't work 9 to 5. So, you can go to the school concert. You can, be there for school drop-off and pick up potentially. But the trade-off is you probably need to get up early and check your emails. I'm often on my computer at night talking to the overseas distributors, or they're messaging Felecia and I at 2 a.m. on WhatsApp. So it's a trade-off. You can't – I think it's very rare that you can work 9 to 5 when you have your own business and have it all. You can't, if that makes sense. Like there's no secret. It's just, and weekends, we still do emails on weekends. We catch up on weekends. We talk on the weekend.
Belinda's just come back from a holiday and she worked the whole time. So there is, you don't get it.
But I still felt relaxed. I still wasn't at home doing a lot of the other things. And I also didn't want to come back to a million things that I needed to do just because I wanted to switch off. Everyone's different. Some people need to completely switch off. But for me, it was still relaxing. I was sitting in a beautiful hotel overlooking the snow doing my emails and messaging and ringing Felecia. So you do, you would agree, you've got your own business. So it works around, but you also work more. So there's no such thing as a 5-day work week, 9 to 5. It might be 7 days over, 3 hours. And so if someone asks us how many hours a day we work, it's very hard to define. But you'd find that, I guess, with most businesses that you speak with.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, there's that word balance that's thrown around a lot. And I think, these days, nobody is working just the normal 9 to 5. Everybody's trying to grow something on the side, or, they do have flexible work hours or night shift. So as, whatever balance is, it's just whatever that means to you. You can work up till 3 o'clock in the morning. And if you still, sleep in, or if you're getting that work life kind of, fulfillment and joy, it is what it is.
Exactly. Or, if you need to be there for your children, everyone's different. Yeah, you can do that. And it's so funny because they go, oh, yeah, you work, but they kind of don't see it because for us, they just think we're on the computer. If we're there to give them afternoon tea, take them to a sports activity. But, Felecia will be sitting in the car while her kids are at Ninja Warriors sending me 50,000 emails. And so
made to be able to be there for our children and watch them grow and, work at the school canteen or be at their sports carnivals, but also have a job and a career and show them, what, mummy, look up to mummy. This is what mummy's doing. She's running a business. It's a role model as well for our children to say, what, you can have it all. You can.
Yes. I so love that. And you guys have created such a beautiful business where you've got that flexibility. I'm wondering what it was like when you were walking down your street and you saw the lashes and you thought, oh my goodness, we've got to create something. What was that first move for you guys?
It's Belinda. It was Felecia, to be honest, that kind of drove it. Because she's like, oh, we can do one of our own. And I'm like, yeah, sure we can. It's not that easy. And she's like, oh, well, look, I know someone and let me just do some research. And she's the research queen. Let me just do some research and run some numbers. And I was sort of like, oh, yeah, this is – I thought, oh, this is not going to happen. We talked about another couple of totally different things we're going to do and nothing ever eventuated from it. But when she came back and had spoken to a friend and she's like, we can actually do this. And I think that, if we work hard, we might be able to make a business out of it. And I was like, oh, okay. And it kind of just snowballed from there. I sometimes call it the accidental business because we didn't sit down and say, come on, let's start a business. We can, do it. Kind of just happened quite organically. So Felecia was definitely the driver behind it in the beginning. And once we realised that it was feasible, we kind of just let it roll from there. And then we did I don't know if you know, but we did a Kickstarter campaign, like a funding campaign, if you know about them.
Yeah.
Indiegogo. Yes. Yeah. So we did an Indiegogo campaign, and, that was a thing for us as well. We're like, well, we'll see if this works, if there's interest. And, once the local paper got hold of it, we raised like $20,000 in it was silly. Yeah. A couple of days. It was really crazy. And that's when we kind of went, oh, okay, well, maybe, because you just never know. You think it's a good idea, but you're like, does everyone else think it's a good idea? Is there already, enough out there? Is ours that much different? You second guess yourself 1,000 times. And so, yeah, that's sort of how that all sort of started.
I did a lot of competitor analysis and realised there weren't many Australian-made products. As well. We also wanted to have some unique selling points. We wanted ours to be better, different than everybody else's. And honestly, people do ask us, what makes you different? Obviously, we're Australian made, we're vegan, and we're more gentle on the eyes than most of the serums out there because we've taken out the ingredients that hurt. But to be honest, I think customer service is our number one selling point. We treat every customer the way we would like to be treated ourselves. We try to get back to every customer. As soon as I get an email, if it's midnight, I will respond. There's got to be something really wrong in my life for me not to respond to a customer the day we get an email from them. And we just, at the end of the day, we just want our customers to be happy.
And that's stockers, that's stockers as well. Yeah, stockers and, all the salons. Like we get, I'll sometimes get 7 emails from a stockers because they've got questions and they want to know about our product. And, we try to pride ourselves on getting back to them and helping them to know our product and love it, because if they know it and love it, then they're going to sell it. But, it's not easy. That's time consuming and stuff as well. But once you acquire the client, whether it's a salon, and keep them happy, we've got some really good relationships with them as well. And some of our salons just sell through so much product because I think we've got a good relationship with them. They like us. They know our product. And that sort of sets us apart from some of the other companies that might sell something similar to ours.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you guys just being the face of the business almost, you're putting your own brand and your personality behind the business, and that resonates with a lot of people. I mean, I can think of at least 5 other lash growth serums, and I don't know who started them, why they started them. I don't know any of the story behind it. And I guess for me, that's already resonating, with, okay, well, I'll go with LongLashes then because I know and I understand you guys. And for me, that resonates. And that's what I tell a lot of the business owners who I talk to as well. Like, you've got to have such a passion, which then relays into your team, and your team have got to have that same passion and have the values understanding to then transfer that through to the client. Otherwise, if the client says, well, what's this lash serum on the shelf, and the therapist has never used it, never picked it up, never gone to training, doesn't know the story behind it, there's no way she's going to be able to sell or recommend that product, So you have to completely go through the journey and understand the brands that you're stocking. And it sounds like you guys are doing a great job on that customer service front, because in this landscape at the moment where we're so technology based, I mean, we're on 3 different calls here and it's all remote, having that customer service base and just being a human behind all of the social media, that's what wins in business, right? Business owners, you learn, you create, you build, and you lead. And when you do, you influence the people around you, including your team and your clients, and the world becomes a better place. We help you do this through Beauty Academy, our revolutionary platform, which gives you direct access to the industry's best business training anywhere and anytime. Often described by our members as Netflix for the professional beauty industry, Beauty Academy gives you exclusive access to over 100 interactive videos, which have been produced by over 250 leading industry experts and industry names you know and love from across the country, including our lovely Terry Vincent, Emma Hobson, Maria Coccioloni, Chisar Westcar, Jessica Brigginshaw, Carla McDermott, and so many more, which makes this the ultimate mentoring platform for beauty business owners. Beauty Academy is the industry-first recognised learning platform that makes it easier and more achievable to access unlimited industry mentoring and business education for your beauty business, catered specifically to the professional beauty industry. Monthly updated, frequently added, easy to use and down-to-earth interactive video content and lessons from experts, educators, mentors and coaches of the professional beauty industry. Why have one coach when you can have them all? Watch anywhere, cancel anytime, claim your free 14-day Beauty Academy trial by heading to www.beautyacademy.com.
I mean, the other thing that we do for our salons is, and it did take time to set up, I won't lie. We have a Dropbox folder, and every salon that we take on, we give them access. So we say, what's mine is yours. We have a ton of photos, flyers, everything that they could possibly ever want. It's theirs. There's a link. We give it to them. They can download anything they like. The same as our social media. We often get our stockists and salons saying, do you mind and I'm like, go for it. Anything we've put on our social media, you can use it because it's going to help you to sell. And if you're selling more, then we're selling more and we're all happy. So we'll do anything to help them.
Yeah, amazing. And so I wanted to ask you, with the landscape that is now, and the lashes and brows world has just gone absolutely bananas. I mean, there are so many private labels now. And as you guys said at the start, you looked into manufacturing the product from China and realized perhaps the quality wasn't what you were looking for. I mean, it's so easy now to just pop up an Instagram page and all of a sudden you've got a business overnight. How have you navigated that with regards to, your competitors? And how have you stayed clear just with your vision and not, let any of that impact you?
Oh, it's hard. It's hard. Felecia in particular takes everything personally. And, we had recently someone's popped up and they're very similar. They're very similar to our product. But, I think you just need to stay clear on what you're doing. I do think you need to know what what other people are doing and your competitors, but you just stay true to your brand. And, we still have that unique selling point that we are Australian made. And the thing that, although with some of the China made products, and I'm not saying that they're all not good, because there's plenty made over there that are, but what we're saying is our factory told us that this certain ingredients was in our product. They told us that was the ingredient list. What we found out is that it wasn't. So for us, it was a trust thing. So we just stayed true. We really pushed the Australian made. We pushed vegan, cruelty-free. And I think we just keep doing what you're doing is what I have been told my whole life in business, whether it's baby clothing business, whether it's whatever you if you get too consumed in what everyone else is doing, you're not spending the time on your own business. So it's good to know what they're doing, but everyone's going to be copied. Anyone who's successful or who's doing a good job, I think people go, oh, I can do that, and they're going to try to copy. But we know how hard it is, and this is what I say to Felecia when she rings me having an anxiety attack that there might be another lash serum out there. I just go, well, let them have a crack. We know how hard it is. We know how hard we've worked to do what we've done. I also say if they're another good product, there's plenty of lashes out in the world for all of us. And we just try to set ourselves apart with those sort of things, the customer service, Australian made. And
as Belinda said, there does go a lot. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. Between the two of us, Belinda and I seem to know everybody that we needed to know. Like, we had a lot of help along the way. We had friends that were lawyers, friends that were insurance brokers,
trademark
friends. So these costs, which would not, my husband's a website developer. He designed our website. So we have probably saved hundreds of thousands of dollars just because we had people in the right places at the right time who helped us get where we were. So that is also, not many people have that. We've been quite lucky and had a lot of help.
Yeah, it's almost all about the company you keep as well, because I mean, even in us, creating an online community 18 months ago when I first started, there was nothing else like this, and now, everyone's just creating a Facebook group going, we're a community. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's all it takes, to create a community. But even when I had my very first competitor, I was surrounded by people who were going, oh my gosh, Tamara, you've got to watch out for this one, or she's doing this and she's doing this. And I'm going, why are you telling me this? Now I'm freaking out, and I'm such a calm person, but now 2 years into the business, when somebody pops up, and don't get me wrong, as you said, I know what other people are doing because it's smart to watch what your competitors are doing. But when people send me screenshots and people in my team, they're like, hey, just FYI. And I'm like, okay, good. Keep them on our radar, but they're not feeding into, the anxiety of, oh my gosh, what am I going to do now? And it really is about who you support and who you surround yourself with.
And you've just got to do what you do, don't you think? Like if you're putting all your energy into worrying about what every other beauty podcast's doing, guess what you're not doing? You're not concentrating on your business. And I feel the same way, but it is very easy, and people mean so well when they send you those screenshots and oh my God, have you seen this? Oh my God, have you seen that? And we're like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, we have. Please don't send it to Felecia because she'll have anxiety and panic. But it's there's not many industries where no one has a competitor. Competition's good. It keeps you on your toes. It keeps you changing and evolving, and it's not a bad thing. I think you just have to embrace that. I've had a few businesses, and, I had a clothing business once, and Big W did something virtually similar, which was a third of the price. It didn't affect my business whatsoever, but everyone was worried about it. So, yeah, you know how it is. But it's very easy to get caught up in it all, and then you end up being reactive and not proactive.
Correct. That's my favorite saying. Always just sit in your values and just take a moment, take a deep breath, realize why you're doing this, and then make the decision from there, and you'll have that proactive decision. Now, I want to have a chat to you because you've generated a 6-figure business within 6 months, which is astronomical. I mean, it's literally out of this world. What kind of strategy or business metrics or anything did you have kind of behind that to allow for that growth? Because some people will sit there and, once you've got this amazing product, they go, right, well, the product will sell itself, which we know is not true. Like, you've got to put hard work behind it.
Start slow and grow. You can't be an overnight success and grow really fast. So we have done it gradually. As we said, we've been luckily enough to not have to put any of our own money into the business. Most businesses, you need a lot of money to put in to start them up, and you've got a debt with the bank. We don't have any of that. We've grown at the right speed.
But we have grown pretty quickly. We're really impatient, so we look at it and don't think it's that fast. So I know exactly what you're saying. You're going, what is she talking about? We did it slowly. In a business terms, we did it fast. Look, we've had a bit of luck as well. I won't lie. Luck that we've had a good product and people have liked it. We've got a really big distributor in the US. I think our growth has mainly been from international distributors, and also we've got a great PR girl who basically got us on Today Tonight. We're in Body and Soul. We've got a couple of influencers that we've worked with, and they've really driven the business. And we're really lucky in that our product is one that if you purchase it, when you finish your bottle, you need to purchase another one. So it's nearly like the more you sell, the more you sell. Yeah. So we've been lucky and we've worked hard, but definitely international distributorship has, because Australia, we don't even realise, but Australia is such a small place. And it's not until you speak to the US or the UK or that you talk, and China. So we're breaking into China at the moment, and it's just the numbers are crazy compared to Australia. So I think being international and going global pretty quickly is definitely what's helped our numbers.
Yeah,
would be the short answer.
Yeah, Australia, as you said, we are small. And in terms of beauty, we are very, very late behind the 8 ball. I mean, we're innovative because sometimes, as you said, we can get a bit impatient, and sometimes we just get the formula and we're like, yeah, let's go, let's try it. Who cares what the ramifications are? Whereas, in the US and in China and in the UK, they've got a lot more legalities that you have to pass through before you can get a product into there, or, even use the formulation. But for us, they've been using all of this technology and products and ingredients, and we're over here on our own little island doing our thing,
Yeah,
but when
down under.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But they love Australian products. I'm always encouraging business owners to have something that's Australian and have those unique Australian ingredients. I'm wondering then, within the second year you started distributing, and for some people they don't do that until like 5-10 year plan. Where did that need come from?
We actually did it within the first year. So, and I think that was because I had a clothing business before that I had international distributors. So I kind of replicated that. Is that right, Felecia? That's sort of how I was like, well, this is how we're going to sell to wholesale in Australia, to businesses. We'll sell distributor. And I just rolled with it. We also went to Hong Kong. So we went to Cosmoprof, which is one of the biggest beauty expos in the world. And that was a really, especially the one this year, although it was smaller, we got new distributors in Thailand, one in Dubai. So I don't know, you just need to back yourself and just get out there and have a go. We've applied for the EDMG grant. So the government has development grants that they basically pay you 50% back of every dollar that you spend trying to break into international markets.
Yeah, right. Okay.
So yeah. So we took advantage of that. You need to spend the money first. Yeah. So we just had to go. Had nothing to lose, really.
I mean, I'd have to say that's Belinda's calling. So she's very big picture. She's like, let's take on the world. And then Felecia, sits behind my little nerdy computer with numbers and I'm quite detailed, and I'll like try and hold her back going, but are we ready for this? And she's like, yes, let's dominate. And I'm like, no, not yet. So we are very opposite, and that's why it works.
Yeah, right. Okay. So Felicia's in analytics and Belinda's in sales, right?
Yes.
You got the personalities. And so talk to me about China then, because going into the US or the UK, where everybody speaks English, it's very similar markets. The culture's not too different. The landscape's not entirely different. China is different. I mean, the culture is so completely different. Like, how did you... why China, first of all? I guess it almost feels full circle because you started there. But why China? Yeah. And then the language barrier, everything?
Well, God, we were so naive, weren't we?
We had a company approach us originally saying, let's work together and get you into China. So that's kind of started it. Unfortunately, it didn't work, but that sowed the seed initially. So then we did a little bit more on our own, and then we started
a Hong Kong warehouse.
Yes. So I set up a warehouse in Hong Kong. So currently, anybody who orders from Australia or New Zealand, they will get their parcel sent from Australia. But then we have a fulfillment warehouse in Hong Kong that will pack and send any other order that's around the world, just because it's cheaper to send and they will get it faster than if we send it
quicker.
So we basically send our products in bulk to Hong Kong. They hold them there and then they pack and post them. So that helped. But then we got another company which is based in Melbourne, and they specialise on getting businesses into China. And we've been working with them for 8 months, possibly close to a year. And they've been amazing, helping us with the influencers. The Chinese people they don't shop the same way as Australian people. So An Australian person may go, I want an eyelash serum. They Google it and they buy the first one they see. The Chinese people are nothing like that. They will Google it. They will look at every ingredient in that serum. They will then work out what the ingredients do, if they're safe. They won't buy Chinese made products. So they will pay more to get an Australian product. They're a lot harder to get over the line, but then there's a lot more of them.
And then that retention as well, once you've got that, likability, trustability, and also build the credibility. Your before and after photos are amazing, and that would be one massive thing that people would see and go, okay, this is not just another product. I'm actually going to get a result here.
And funnily enough, we had to get a few before and afters of Asian lashes, because they don't always just want to see pictures of us Australians. So we did a lot with influencers, and funnily enough, our product works really quickly on Asian lashes.
Wow.
We don't know why. We think it's because and I don't mean to generalise, but it is a generalisation, that the Asian population have quite coarse, like they have strong hair. And for some reason, these influencers were saying, look at my and before they had before and after pictures, look at my lashes in 4 weeks. And we're like, please don't say that. It's not always 4 weeks. It's, we didn't want them to and they're like, no, but these are my photos. So that's been a really big selling point for us as well. So we got all of the influencers and their before and afters, and then they pushed them. So the Chinese market, they don't want to be the first. They want to be a me too. So you nearly have to show that your product works, show that people like it, show that everyone's buying it, and then they all want to buy it. It's
interesting.
Yeah, so it's a very different market, and we've spent a lot of money to get into China, and it was nowhere near as easy as we thought it would be. But if
you ask me now, like I always say to Belinda, if you said to me today, do you want to get into China? I would say no. I knew now what I knew back. If I knew back then what I know now, I wouldn't do it again. But we're too far into it, and we've put so much work and so much money into it that the hard part is over. But that's honestly been the hardest part of the entire business.
Sometimes it's that naivety, isn't it? What you don't know, and that's great, because if you knew what you knew, you wouldn't be where you are.
Isn't that like childbirth though?
Everybody kept saying to us, you'll never do it. You'll never do it. Nobody succeeds. And as soon as someone tells me I can't, well, guess what? I will. So
yes.
That was also part of it. I just had to show it.
And so tell me then, you said before that you do stock in beauty salons and clinics and bits and pieces like that. What does your opening parcel look like, and what's that ongoing relationship from your end?
So one thing that we do is we don't have any minimums, because we do service a lot of home salons as well, and we understand that their cash flow is can be tight. We do have basically an opening order package where if you purchase 12 serums, you will get the display stand and the booklet and free shipping. And so I do find that most new salons order 12 serums, which is the total is $533 and 94 cents or something like that. So our product has 100% markup for salons, which some of the other serums in the market didn't have. So that was really important to us, and that was part of our research when we started. We found that salons needed that 100% markup. So we find that a lot of places want to try the product first, which we actually encourage, because if they've tried it, they like it and it works on them, and then they get a box, you should see how quickly they sell through it. We find that a lot of them will trial the product, then they'll purchase a box. But if it's a smaller salon, they can buy 4 or 5, and just sell it that way. Because we also have other products as well. I know we're talking lash serums, but we have collagen powder, which has been very popular. It actually helps with hair growth as well. We sell that a lot to more cosmetic clinics and things like that, because it helps with healing. And we've got a hero hair, which is a hair serum. So some of the salons will buy a bit of each. But most of them in general buy the pack of 12 and they get the really nice display stand. They're free shipping. There's the tent. We've got a tent booklet and it has before and after photos. They put that in their reception. People are flicking through it, looking at a flyer, and it kind of sells itself, if that makes sense. So, but we like to work with the salons. We don't have, $1,000 minimums, and they don't need to reorder every month without fail because every salon's different. Some in Westfield buy a box nearly every week, and then we'll have a little country salon that buys from us 3 times a year maybe. So
yeah,
so
I appreciate that. It's making it easier for the professional beauty industry, because a lot of businesses do want to stock that. But as you said, cash flow might not be as accessible, or, repeat orders every single month. They're just going to end up with a ton of stock that sits on the shelf and goes off. So you don't want that anyway. You want, that turnover to happen. I have one last question for you both, and it was going to be, knowing what you know now, what would you tell yourself? However, you would tell yourself, don't do China. So I want to ask you then, what for each of you has been the most valuable thing that you've learned along your journey so far?
That's a good one. The most valuable lesson, or just in business?
Yeah, it can be personal, professional. I mean, I know we learn a lot about ourselves on these business journeys as well.
I've got mine. This is Felecia. I am Chief Customer Service Operator, mind you, as well as Marketing Manager. We have many hats, Belinda and I. We don't like to employ staff. I'm a big believer in no one will do the job the way you will do it yourself. So I do micromanage and try and keep everything and do as much as I can myself. So I would say the number one thing is treat others the way you would like to be treated yourself. If in the mornings I'll go get a coffee, and if that person has served me my coffee and said, have a wonderful day, and that sets me up for my day. Or you could get some grumpy person who's like, it's 6 o'clock in the morning, I don't want to be here. I try to be the happy person. I try to get back to all the customers, whoever it may be, and let them have an enjoyable experience the way I would want it myself. And I think that's probably what I've learned the most. I would say 99.99% of any customer service that we've had in the last 2.5 years, any customer who's come in angry, or, their orders arrived late, or whatever it might be, I've managed to turn around into a happy customer. So, yeah, that would be mine.
Customer service magician. Mine would be, and I have had it in business for a while, is if you can't be good at everything. So if you aren't good at something, find that person that is good at it to help you. So as much as Felicia's like, no one's going to do the business as well as you do, that's customer service. But if we work with SEO specialists because we're not SEO specialists. We've got a fabulous accountant because that's what they're good at. So if you can't be good at everything. So I think finding people that specialise in the areas that aren't your expertise is essential. And an accountant is probably the number one, because if you don't know your numbers, you don't know where you are, then no business is going to succeed. So yeah, if you not pretending that you can do it, just getting someone that can that is the expert in that area.
Yeah, it's almost a very fine line within startup, because as you said, Felecia, when you're starting up, you wear all of the hats. In fact, you wear the jackets, you wear the shoes, you literally do everything, right? But then at the same time, if you're not good at something, then you've got to take that hat and hand it over, and be willing to relinquish control and give that to somebody else, because they will be able to do a better job.
I mean, that's true. I mean, I used to do all our social media advertising. I've never done that before. I just clicked a button and hoped for the best. And, it was okay in the first year. But now, I mean, we outsource that. We've got an agency that does all that for us. So I realised I'm not doing that great a job at that. So there are parts of the business that we've split off, and even though they're not staff that are working for us, they're jobs that we've outsourced to other people.
They specialise in it. Yeah. So that's definitely something. That an accountant, good numbers man or woman.
Yes, absolutely. You cannot be what you cannot see.
Absolutely. No, that's very true.
Amazing, ladies. Thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with both of you and getting to learn about your business.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having us.
I love that Belinda and Felecia put the success of their business down to great customer service and a great product. When you say it like that, it really does seem simple, doesn't it? I think sometimes we overcomplicate the process of business with funnels, hierarchy, and ego. However, when it comes down to it, a successful business is as successful as the product it's selling and the people selling it. I highly recommend that you head over to LongLashes on Instagram and take a look at their before and after photos to see the incredible results from the lash serum if you haven't already throughout the podcast today. As always, your support means the absolute world to myself and my guests, so if you have enjoyed the conversation, make sure you take a little photo of yourself listening to this episode or screenshot how you're listening and share it across the socials by tagging the girls at longlashes.official and myself at Beauty Industry and at Tamara Shaw Reid. If you're looking for more ways to keep up with all things beauty, well, we do have a podcast community, which I would love to see you in across our Facebook called Beauty Industry Facebook Community, and to a monthly newsletter which you can subscribe to. Thank you as always for everything that you do to support us as little independent podcasters. Until next time, stay connected.